quieres ser mi amigo, no puedo estar contigo, porque cuando te di mi pobre corazón, tú lo dejaste ir. Cuando llamaste ayer, la voz de una mujer exigiéndote me hizo comprender que sigue siendo el mismo. Y tú no sabes el dolor que llevo dentro del corazón, porque cuando te quise a ti, tú me dejaste ir. No puedo ser tu amiga, no importa lo que digas, porque cuando te di mi pobre corazón, tú lo dejaste ir. Y tú no sabes el dolor que llevo dentro del corazón, porque cuando te quise a ti, tú me dejaste ir. No puedo ser tu amiga, no importa lo que digas, porque cuando te di mi pobre corazón, tú lo dejaste ir. Qué bueno que te has ido, no eres enemigo, pero recuerda bien que aquel que siempre da recibirá lo mismo, recibirá lo mismo, recibirá lo mismo. Recibirá lo mismo.
It's lunchtime and the Brooklyn Cafe is open for business. Live from the Amp Media Studios, Dawn and Freddie S. and their team are ready to serve up a huge portion of fun for lunch with friends and neighbors. So let's break open that lunch pail and unwrap that sandwich you brought and take a front row seat in the Brooklyn Cafe and get ready to enjoy some humor and hot topics. It's time to get a healthy serving of hope and happiness to help your day go by with a smile. Your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S., are ready to talk about food, health, dating, or just plain dream making. If you have a story to share, movie review, restaurant critique, or just a coincidental thing that happened to you, call in toll free 888-994-4995, Studio A right now. Sit back and enjoy your lunch break at the Brooklyn Cafe. Here are your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Brooklyn Cafe Show, where we like to spice things up every once in a while. I'm RK.
I'm Lana.
And we're here to have a good time today, right? Kick off the week with a bang. How was your weekend? What did you do this weekend?
My weekend was pretty good. I worked the whole Saturday. I had a few. Saturday was a lot of stuff going on. But Sunday I had a little bit off. Did homework, just catch up with my family and everything. What about you?
Same thing. Work as always.
Your mic's working.
Gotta pay the bills.
Our mic's working.
What do you do? I work at an ice cream place, so I'm with kids all day. What about yourself?
In the weekdays, I do with kids as well, so I know the
Okay.
struggle. But this Saturday, I had a wedding, which was fun
That's
because
exciting.
we do video. But they decided to do something different that they saw in Brazil, that you pass a video of what's going on during the getting ready and makeup at the wedding. So
Kinda
we
like
had
behind
to,
the scenes, right?
yeah, but we had to do the editing during the wedding, so it was a little bit
Ah.
crazy, but it was fun.
Fast pace.
Yeah, so
Good.
just
All
like
right.
the
Well, good. Glad
Was
you had fun, right?
yeah,
That's all that matters.
I agree.
So today is September the 13th. We have some very important people that were born on this day in history. First one is one of my ancestors, Milton Hershey, that founded the Hershey Company. So if you like chocolate, go out
Delicious.
to your local convenience store, gas station, whatever. Buy yourself some chocolate. You deserved it, all right? You worked hard last week. We also have Roald Dahl, I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, the author of famous children's books such as James the Giant Peach, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, born in 1911, and Walter Reed. If you don't know who that is, born in 1851, he's one of the surgeons who discovered the cure for yellow fever. So pretty exciting stuff.
Happy birthday to all of them, I guess.
Happy birthday, even though they're
Long gone.
haven't been with us for a
Long-
while.
yeah.
It's been a minute.
Oh my god. But yeah, so today getting a Hershey's bar.
I'll probably get a couple. Big
Yeah.
bag of the mini ones, just snack on that.
To-do list. Okay, remember that.
Yeah.
I love the dark one.
I'm more of a cookies and cream guy myself.
Oh,
There's
yeah,
something about
good
the
one
white
too.
chocolate with the cookies, the Oreo.
Good mix.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Are mics on? Yeah, we're good.
Oh, okay. Okay. Sorry.
Have any exciting stories you want to share? Hmm? You're good. Are mics working?
Yeah. Sorry, just freaked out.
What about the weather, though? The thunderstorm last night. How'd you sleep?
Oh no, I can't sleep really good. If everything is going on, I don't hear a thing. I don't hear a thing. Went off the whole night.
That's
What
good.
about you?
Lucky
Could you
out.
hear it?
Oh my
The
God,
storm?
the thunder just booming all throughout the night. Woke up at 3 a.m. Thought a plane just crashed in my backyard. Had to look out the window, just saw it was raining. All right, whatever. Went back to sleep. More thunder, and woke up this morning. I thought like a hurricane hit us or something. Tropical storm. It was nonstop.
No, yeah, the my sister's bus, it's not coming now. Like, it's always getting there late, so sometimes it doesn't even show up. So she was going biking to school today.
Biking?
So I was like,
In the rain?
Maybe not. Maybe I can drive you.
Oh my
But yeah,
God.
she said, no, I'm fine. I can bike to school.
She packed a life vest, right,
No,
for
yeah.
the floods.
I was like, are you crazy? But so that's why I waited a few. But the rain went away. The bus got there
All right, good.
a little bit late. But
Good.
yeah, 'cause biking in the rain, not the best. I don't think so.
No, for sure. Biking in South Florida can be dangerous, just in general. You know, you have a bunch of crazy people on the road up there.
True.
95 is dangerous in itself.
They don't have any idea how to drive, so.
Oh my God! And with the rain, with hydroplaning and everything, forget about it, right?
Go for it.
What else? I mean, the weather's now. I think the sun's out now. Clouds are going away. I think it's gonna shape up to be a really good week. You know?
Hope so, yeah. I guess so.
Mm-hmm.
Go get the beach during the weeks.
The beach.
Oh
It's been
God.
so long.
Do you like it?
I'm more of a pool guy, you know.
Okay.
I think the beach it gets too crowded. You can't open your eyes into the water; it burns. The seagulls, they're flocking. You can't eat a sandwich. You get some kid runs by, kicks dirt in your face.
Too much going on.
Yeah,
I
too
get
much.
that. I get it.
The pool, you just get your little floaty. You just float, however long you want. It's good. Personally, I like the pools much more.
I'm playing volleyball at the beach now, so I get what's going on.
Sand volleyball,
Trying, but it's fun.
athletic. It's not,
Not
easy running
really,
around. No,
but
it's pretty
trying.
difficult.
Trying to. So yeah, after the whole thing, we go to the water, but sometimes like, yeah, not the best.
How often do you go and play?
3-4 times a week.
Wow. Okay. Mornings, nights.
Afternoons after work.
Ah.
So like 5-6.
Do you go with
when
friends,
the,
family?
Yeah, friends. When the sun's going down, when the sun is not
When it's
burning.
not so hot.
Yeah, the sun is not burning.
Do you go splash around in the water afterwards? Or you
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
Nice. Good. It's
And now
always
the
fun.
weather's good, so
Did you do
the
any
weather.
sports in high school?
I used to play soccer, but I'm not that good, so.
Okay.
And I don't have the shape for it.
But you were on the
anymore.
soccer team?
In
high school?
Brazil, yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right. When did you go come here to America?
5 years ago.
Okay, well, you speak English really good for someone who's only been here for 5 years. I'll say that.
Thank you. So, you from here?
Yep, Florida, born and bred.
Any
954.
sports? You don't-
No, I wanted to do track in high school, but I just never had the time for it.
But can you actually?
Run? I
Yeah.
can run. I feel like anyone can run. But
Yeah.
athletically, no. I'm more brains than anything.
Okay, good.
But yeah, if I was tall, wish I had a few more inches. I'd love to do basketball.
Same.
Like,
I
something
wish.
just looks so good being able to dunk. Can you imagine if I looked like Dan, tall and lanky? Dreams come true, man.
I think so too. Another angle.
Look at him, hard at work. Everyone's hard at work today. Yeah. Yeah, let's go to commercial, guys. We'll be right back with the bosses.
Someone there?
Welcome to Mini Donut World, where the donuts are hot, fresh, and delicious. Made to order and customizable by you. Gourmet specialty flavors such as apple pie, French toast, campfire, and strawberry cheesecake are always popular. Looking to tailor your appetite? Build your own mini donut. Choose from over 18 flavor donut bases, add on your icing flavor, and choose from over 15 toppings and drizzles. While kids enjoy our design your own kits to take home, our 21 and over customers love our alcohol-infused donuts. Come visit Mini Donut World at 8763 Sterling Road in Cooper City. Have questions or want to place an order? Give us a call at 954-369-2301. We know you will love each bite of our deliciously distinctive mini donuts.
Even though some things are far away, we plan for them ahead of time because they're important. When it comes to your celebration of life, it's really no different. You want to plan ahead now so your family doesn't have to later, and create a service that reflects your values, character, and traditions, no matter what they may be. At Dignity Memorial, we listen to every detail and make sure everyone is remembered.
When your property suffers from water, mold, fire, or biohazard, you need a professional remediation company that is fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Rescue Clean 911 offer 24/7 emergency service with 1-hour response times now in your area. Water, mold, fire, biohazard. Call now 1-833-253-2699.
Handling the hard jobs with a soft touch.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie.
Hey, welcome. We are back. Yeah, you know what he does to me all the time.
What'd he do to you today?
I don't know. Slick is a very, and I shouldn't say this because he's a Dolphin fan.
There's a lot of people out there that are Dolphin fans, and now apparently they are undefeated. Happy Monday to you. Happy Monday, everyone. Welcome to the Brooklyn Cafe Show. I think we're drying out here a little bit in South Florida. It has been a rainy, wet, God talking type of Monday morning, but I think things are drying out and ready to rock and roll. As you see, we had our intros today. We had RK and we had Anna joining us for a little bit of introduction, see how their weekend went. You are looking for, what are you looking for?
I'm looking for what everybody keeps waiting for. They're waiting for the solution to their business. They're not ready to jump into the pool to get wet and get it done, but they're waiting, and I'm looking. I can't even see Veronica. Where is she?
She's behind Dan.
My God. It's like a bunch of equipment. I can't see nothing.
We got a lot of equipment here in the studio. It's been a long time since we've had our next guest join us. She's sending us over some images and footage of her new book, which is very exciting. And I'm glad she's here because on November 14th, we are going to be up in her neck of the woods, up in Delray at Old School Square, doing a children's to benefit education festival. So that's going to be really exciting. So I've got to bring you into this mix for Veronica and Veggie Vero.
November 14th is a big date.
Save the date, November 14th. We will be at Old School Square to benefit Roots and Wings and education and all of our kids in the community. There's going to be vendors and food, and Tiny's going to be there with the pirate ship. Mini Donuts, Jeremiah's, you name it, it's going to be there, and we get the pleasure of being able to cover the whole event. It's going to be airing live on WWNN Radio. It is Sunday, November 14th from 10 until 2. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. Decorating the Christmas tree also, which I cannot believe we are actually going to be in Christmas tree season.
Aye.
We're in pumpkin spice season. You know what that means? Right around the corner. Thanksgiving, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, boom, 2022.
I love pumpkin pie. I hate pumpkin spice.
I got to tell you, somehow I lost 2020. I've pretty much lost 2021. So when people tell me they're getting ready to do 2022, I'm thinking,
how did you get lost?
That's so far away, but yet it's not. I got lost along the way between 2019 and 2020, and somewhere along the line,
how'd you get lost?
We're going into 2022.
How'd you get lost?
I do not know.
First of all, we got bigger. We expanded the platform.
I got lost.
The kids, if they ever listen to me, we should have 12 independent millennial shows.
Correct, we should.
And I have to fight them.
Yes. You do.
But we have gotten bigger and more vibrant. Now, today is the opening day for schools in New York City. New York is back in school mode. The hot ticket right now is whether or not they should be wearing masks. I have never seen so much stupid energy being spent on this conversation.
Was school open in New York last year?
No, it was all virtual.
For the whole year?
Yeah.
So they haven't been in school in a year and a half?
Correct.
Since March of 2020?
Correct, and they brought a new czar of school education in New York, and they have changed every classroom. Can you imagine? Every classroom has 2 air filters that will be changed daily or every other day.
Wow.
Every classroom, they want mandated mask. Wow. Okay? And we need to get that thingamajig because my sister asked me if we could send 1,000 of them up to the Head Starts in New York. They want the mask holder.
Yep.
Not that, it's really amazing. I asked people to help me do this thing, and it takes 5 days. Meanwhile, I make a phone call, I could get it done in 1 day. But anyway, the hot ticket. Kids, again. Kids in school, where the kids wear masks, kids safety. There are people
you enjoy having that sound on?
I have to listen to the show. I almost broke my headphones. People are asking whether or not they're going to allow children to get the vaccination. A lot of hot stuff going on right now. So that's why this November 14th thing, I'm hoping that minds will prevail and we can get to some kind of agreement. This is really frustrating.
Just got to keep the kids safe. Well, happy Monday. I can't believe New York, this is their first time back in school since all of this happened.
All my parent friends and Lisa, everybody sending me pictures of the kids going to school.
It's pretty exciting though, and we're going to talk to Veronica Green. When I get to see the kids, you realize that it's all about the kids and seeing their smiles, and just when you're having a bad day, you see your kids smile. I've been cleaning out old pictures, and you don't forget what your kids were when they little. Like, you remember until you see a picture and it captures their smile and their goofiness, and you realize that's why we ever do anything in life as our kids. You got to spend the weekend with Rowan.
At a
Joey's
bar.
on the phone. Yeah.
I spent
your grandson at a bar.
Sunday
right?
at a bar with my grandson.
But that's the exciting stuff. That is
that's
what it's all
turned
about.
into.
Veronica's joining us. She has been host of Veronica Green Kids Corner with Veggie Vero probably for the past year and a half already. It airs Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. And so many of the great places that she visits for story time, the Delray Beach Children's Garden, and she goes exploring and crafts and stories, and it's so great, and it is all about the kids. And it's in our first segment, they said, Dahl, what's his first name? Who wrote James and the Giant Peach? And
I don't even remember the name.
I can't pronounce his first name. And he's screaming from. She's got her mic.
Here we go. Can you hear
But
me?
so many great books, and it's back to the kids. So welcome back. It's been a minute, as they say.
Yes, it's been a minute. It's so good to be back.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I've been super busy. I've been at the garden preparing for the start of our new homeschool season, which just started last week.
Wow.
And so we have 30 families on Tuesday coming, and another 30 families on Wednesday. It's twice a week that we do it, and there's a waiting list, so we really hope to be able to expand it in the future. But yeah, we've been busy.
Is that new, the homeschool program?
Fairly new. I mean, the garden has been around for 6 years. The homeschool program, I believe we just started it, maybe it's been close to 2 years now. But of course we had to take a break with COVID. But so yeah, it is fairly new, but it's very, very successful. I have to give a shout out to Christina, the director of the garden. She did an amazing job putting together this beautiful program. The whole garden is just set up in different stations, like a science station, garden to table cooking area, arts and craft, math and language. We use Montessori tools and puzzles, and I mean, it's 3 hours of full-blown nature education. It's amazing.
That's incredible. And the garden is so beautiful. And to see these little kids, and I love the videos that you get to capture of their excitement when you see them. It's like taking your grandkids and the beauty and the glory of, oh, look at this and look at the plant. It's amazing.
It is, because my Rowan says that he wants to spend more time with me. So I got to take him. There's a lot of places that I would love to do. The problem is my inner fear. And I guess I got to sort of overcome that, because by the time I wait to take him, he'll be 21 and getting married. So, and he's such a small little kid. But you got to love the idea. You got to love the whole children theme. It's funny because it hasn't been Christmas the last 2 years. It's been really, really difficult. And hopefully this year, if we can turn this thing around a little bit better, maybe this year will be a different holiday. It's been tough the last 2 years.
But hopefully, but besides the holidays, what you get to do every day with these kids.
It's exciting.
What is the homeschool program like? I mean, you get to see these kids every day in the minds of what they find joy in. It can be a leaf. It can be your flower bed, right? And they find joy in the tiniest things.
Oh yeah, it's so gratifying to see the wonder in their eyes, and just to watch them learn and play while they learn and learn while they play. That's what it's really all about. It's very, very gratifying work. It's actually sometimes crazy that I even get to say this is my job. I go to work and I'm truly so happy. Like, I feel very blessed to be able to call that my job.
Is Jeannie still there?
No, we actually have a new horticulture person in the garden who is tending the land, but Jeannie's still around. She's our co-founder still. She always will be. Her and Shelly Zacks, her and Jeannie co-founded the garden together. And now we kind of have a whole new team of people helping us to run the place. So we're growing and evolving all the time, and we actually are really trying to grow our staff even more so that we can expand our programming. Part of the reason why, we only offer Tuesday, Wednesday homeschool is because it's like 2 of us running the thing. Like, we don't have the staff.
What do you do at the homeschool?
Well, the homeschool is what I was saying. The whole garden is kind of broken up into different sections, and it's 3 hours of just full-blown nature play. My particular role in the homeschool is I facilitate the garden to table cooking segment. So we get different plant-based foods, and I lead them through crafting their own little dish every single week. And it's a little bit of a challenge because I have to think of things to cook that are not really requiring like a stove and like we can't bake. It's a real outdoor facility. So last week we made watermelon, blueberry, and mint salads. So they get to chop up their watermelon. We have a whole lesson about the hydrating benefits of watermelon, and they topped it off with chia seeds. We talked about how nutritious those are, and they put together their own little salad. This coming week, tomorrow actually, we're going to be talking about beans and legumes. So I'm thinking about doing a 3-bean salad. I have another lesson planned for later on in the season. We're going to make our own guacamole.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's always things that they can kind of do just with pretty basic, supplies and lack of a stove.
And what are the ages of the kids?
It ranges from 3 to 9, although I don't think we have any 9-year-olds. I think we have 3 to 8 this semester.
I saw a post a couple weeks ago. Imagine going through your day through the eyes of a child. And that's the beauty of what you get to do. The glory of, oh, this is a bean, and what is a bean, and the smell and the taste, and all the things that you end up at some point in life taking for granted of what it tastes like, the colors, the garden, running outside and playing in the heat and enjoying it instead of going, oh, it's so hot.
Yeah, and also learning how it grows and where it actually comes from. There is a really big disconnect between children or even adults, just people in general, and their food. Where does the food come from? It doesn't all start at Publix. So it's really cool to get them in the garden, getting their hands in the dirt, planting seeds and harvesting things when they're ready. It's a beautiful thing.
It's interesting. My daughter works up at Space of Mind, and one of their first programs they're doing today is planting a seed to set your intention.
Oh,
and you make me think of that right now because it's so much. I said, does it have to be a seed? And she said, well, I don't know what I ended up doing, but it was about the intention of what it is you're planting, whether it be a seed or an idea, and how you get to watch it turn into what you actually intended it to be.
Right, and it only manifests if you nurture it.
Exactly.
So there's a lot of lessons to be learned from that. You have to make sure it's watered and getting its proper sunlight and all that. It flourishes when you nurture it.
It's amazing. When I was in school, everybody had to plant a seed. And that little green thing pops up, and you feel like $1 million because you just gave life to a seed. And then what they did was there were some seeds, not all seeds are the same.
Right.
So sometimes they don't work out too well. So what they would do is the teachers would come in early and switch the seeds out for the ones that didn't pop. And I was the monitor to throw out the dead seeds. You see, you gotta be able to keep a secret. So they gave me the bad seeds. I used to throw them in the, and you know what? They grew where I threw them. They ended up spouting anyway. It was ridiculous.
Those seeds needed a bigger space.
That's when they needed more air.
Yeah.
They needed more. This is actually Arts and Education Week, and so much of that can go to the creative arts and nature and the arts and so many great things. So she'd be a great co-host or something to do with Alana also going forward.
On tabs. I wanted to ask you, do you see a change in parents? I know the kids are excited. You could give, like my 2-year-old grandson, he hit his head with a block. Don't ask. So I told him, let me get the paint out of your head. And I grabbed his head and I went like this, and then I'm struggling with my arm. And he was amazed, and he stopped crying. And so now he had me doing this I couldn't watch the game. Do you see a change among parents, maybe unifying or working together with the program?
More so now, you mean, as opposed to
Correct.
Pre-COVID? Well, the whole idea of a co-op, like a nature cooperative, is that it is a group that's coming together and working together. And yes, we have our lead facilitators and our main teachers, but the parents also are hands-on. It's not a drop-off program. The parents are there with them the whole time. So the parents are, our parents are our main teachers when we're little, right? They're the number one teachers. So everybody is kind of, it's like a collaborative effort in teaching the kids. And I think that now more than ever, parents are realizing the importance of their kids being outdoors, even if, not everybody can homeschool, and that's totally understandable. Even if you are not able to homeschool, like, you're outside of school time, you have to have some outdoor time. And I'm seeing a shift towards that. So I have people that come on the weekends that are not part of our homeschool group. They're not able to homeschool, but they're like, we're going to get our outdoor time at some point this week. We're coming to the garden at some point this week. So they're making sure that their kids are getting outdoor time. It's not just constantly screen time indoors. You know what I mean? I feel like people are starting to see the value in that more so now than ever. So that's pretty awesome.
I got to tell you, this weekend was a very difficult weekend for me because of 9/11. Very difficult, and friends of mine. But I noticed on commercials and everything else, talking about the unification of this country again. Talking about, we're in this together. 20 years ago, everybody, even though they were upset unified. Everybody had everybody's back. I still remember walking down New York City and people hugging each other, strangers. They didn't care. They didn't care who you were. You could have been a Yankee fan, a Met fan, a Knicks fan, or whatever. It didn't matter. It was the unification. And my belief is through children, we'll get back to that somehow. So that's the reason why I was asking you, because I noticed this weekend there's a whole lot more unification being asked, and they're leading it with the kids. This is why it's so important that this television program that she does on Saturday, which I think we should maybe rerun on Sundays or something. I know you got your hands full, but I am working on how to do it. I think it's important because you can't say no to a kid. Think about that. What are you going to tell a kid? I can't do? No, you're going to do everything you can for your children. Isn't that what we're all about? And we got to get that whole thing back together. We got to get back to the soil, as my father used to tell me. Because if you get back to the soil, you will always live. You will always live. You will never have for not eating, for not living. And it's good for you. We talked about that whole soil thing.
Well, you realize that when you watch your show, that it's the basics. You see the basics of the craft, and it can just be paper, and you're making a butterfly, or you're making a ladybug, or a pine cone. I mean, the simple things in life that somehow, again, we get caught up in buying our kids things instead of maybe just the simpler times. And that, I think, is maybe a huge lesson that we've all gone through this time.
Absolutely. No, I can definitely relate to that, because at the garden, we really try not to put out too many toys, and you know what I mean? Mother Nature has all of these natural toys all around. If you take away all of the store-bought things, the kids will find their own toys. All of the sticks and the stones and the caterpillars and all of the things that they really are getting their hands into when there's not toys present. It's wonderful to watch them just use those natural toys, Mother Nature's toys.
And how are they enjoying the cooking? I'm thinking of 3-bean salad. You're going to get them to eat that?
What's that?
The 3-bean salad, to get them to eat?
Oh, yeah. So I find that no matter how unusual the dish is, if they had their hands involved in actually making it and preparing it and chopping the things, they're excited to eat it. So, I don't know. I mean, last semester we did, we did so many different things, but there was some other type of salad that we made, and it was heavy on the greens. It was a lot of greens, and I wasn't sure how it was going to go over with them. And they were so excited to eat the salad, and the parents were like, "Oh my gosh, I could never get them to eat this at home." But because they, chopped up the things, they made their own salad dressing. They at some point they were actually harvesting their own tomatoes, and then they harvested them, chopped them, and put them in the salad. It's exciting to eat something that you really had your hands in.
Maybe we should try that with Freddie.
I eat salad.
If you make your own salad, will you like it?
I eat salad now every night. Once I eat, because of Vlad, I eat salad and then the meal every night. Even yesterday when I went out.
How do you feel?
I feel pretty good. And I gotta tell you, I'm very jealous that you guys, because you went in New York and then you came down to Florida, right? The concrete jungle was what I grew up with.
Yeah.
There was no trees. I mean, there were in Central Park and stuff like, but I'm talking about that you could do some of these things. Pumpkin patch. When I was in elementary school, whatever they call it, third grade and stuff like that, never went. The day we were supposed to go, the bus broke down. So I never went.
Oh.
Never got to go. So when Freddie went, I said, bring me back a pumpkin. I wanted to go on the trip. They didn't allow it in the day. But I got to tell you, I'm a little jealous because there's so many things out there. Then I got to live in Puerto Rico on a farm. So my father says, you want to be a farmer? I'm going to tell you, a lot of work, a lot of things to learn, a lot of different things to learn. Eating off a tree is very different than going to Publix. Very different. The taste is different. The whole thing is different. So I'm a little jealous because I didn't get that opportunity to grow up and take advantage of things like it. There should be a waiting list for 10 months, a year, 2 years.
There's a waiting list. And what I'm
Fantastic.
finding now is that there's all these different nature schools are popping up all over, which is a wonderful thing because, I mean, we certainly don't have the capacity to accommodate every single family. There needs to be lots of nature schools. They're popping up in all the different cities. Actually, one of our board members started her own nature school. Shout out to Fernanda. She started Coco Plum, which is also in Delray. Sunflower Creative Arts, the founder of that is one of Shelley's best friends. These are all nature-based schools. So, you know, we're not the only ones. This is becoming a very popular thing, which is great. It needs to be, there seems to be like a cluster of them in Delray too, which is interesting. I'm hoping to see them really spread out more because we have people driving to the garden from Miami.
Wow.
And they're like, I wish we had this close by because they can't even come as often as they'd like to. It's such a far drive. What was I going to say though? Freddie, you had something you just said. Oh, the concrete jungle. That's what I was going to comment on. So it's interesting because we live in, I mean, really, this is like a tropical paradise, right? We have, compared to New York, a lot of lush greenery and we have the beach and there's a lot of nature around us. But a lot of kids down here kind of, in a way, are surrounded by concrete also because they're living in apartment buildings or condos, or even maybe they're in a single family home, but there's not a lot of like nature parks. Like the garden is really, truly like a gem, a diamond in the rough, because there's not a lot. If you walk up and down Atlantic Ave, as beautiful as it is, and all the shops and the restaurants and the bars and everything, it kind of is a concrete jungle. You know, you have some palm trees lining the streets, but it's not something that a kid could go and really get the experience that they get at the garden. So, I don't know. I think that we just really need to seek out these places. And if you're somebody who's interested in starting your own, find the land and do it. I have met a lot of people who have been actually coming to the garden and trying to just kind of use us as inspiration because they're interested in starting something like that close to where they live. And we welcome that because there needs to be more of it.
What are you finding as the benefits, not only for the kids, but for their families?
The benefits of having the green space.
Of having the green space, your programming, just getting them out in nature.
I mean, I think that there's so much to be learned from nature, and we could talk to a child till we're blue in the face about where food comes from and how plants communicate with each other and how you water a plant from the roots so that it drinks up through its roots like a straw. It sucks up the water. I mean, we can talk about all that stuff in a classroom, but if you're not doing it and you're not actually having them experience it firsthand and get their hands in the soil, it's just not the same. I mean, I've had groups of kids come for field trips at the garden, like your daughter has come with Space of Mind field trips, but that they're very nature conscious. But I'm talking about, I've had other groups that have come from schools that really never have outdoor time, so it was like a special treat for them to come to the garden. And the kids were afraid of everything. They were afraid of worms, they were afraid of dirt, they were afraid of bugs, they were afraid of everything, and it was heartbreaking. But they were there for 2 hours, which is not even long enough, but it was 2 hours, and little by little, as 20 minutes and then another 20 minutes, I would slowly start to see them open up, and then they get a little bit of bravery. Oh, maybe I will hold this worm. Oh, maybe I will, lift up this flower pot and see if there's beetles under there. Like, just very slowly. So that's only in a 2-hour time span. So imagine if you're getting this on a weekly or daily basis, time outside in nature, it just opens you up. I mean, nobody should have fear of of bugs. I mean, not to say that you have to love bugs. We certainly don't want them in our homes, right? But they're part of nature. They're food for other animals. Like, you know, we have to like kind of teach our kids that everything has its purpose here. And
Can you imagine part of your education, lift up the flower pot and see if there are beetles underneath it? Like things you don't even realize.
Absolutely.
But part of the ecosystem and learning and eating better. You know, if we can get our kids on better diets as a whole, I don't mean a diet, but better of nutritional diets, hopefully they're going to be so much better off than all the fast food jungle that they're running out to do.
Again, everything in balance. Okay, I just read a report that says that if you eat meat, it helps with Alzheimer's, but it destroys your gut. So you sort of everything in balance. I think that if you don't like bugs, I don't like roaches. I decided September 1st, me and a roach are gonna have an understanding, mano a mano. I'm bigger than you, don't come in here. But I used to run the other way because I couldn't stand bugs. Caterpillars give me the crawlies.
Really?
Yes.
You grew up on a farm?
No, I went to a farm when I was 13 to 16. I didn't grow up on no farm. The only thing I knew when I was growing up was Spalding's against cement.
I love
That's
caterpillars.
Ay, Dios mío, papá.
So what I tell the kids when I see them kind of, you know, get creeped out by different bugs and stuff, especially roaches. I get it. I mean, nobody really likes roaches, but what I tell
She
them
likes
is,
roaches. She picks them up and puts them outside like a pet.
I dislike them, but
well,
it just,
I save them too. I don't touch them with my hands, but I do have a bug rescue Tupperware at home that I capture and release. I'm proud to say, because just because I don't want them in my home doesn't mean that they're not worthy of their own little bug life.
Correct.
So anyways, what I tell the kids is, hey, if you kill a bug, you're taking food away from another animal. There was a lizard, a very hungry lizard that wanted to eat that roach. So it's all a cycle, and it kind of like reinforces that in their mind that we all have our purpose here in this world. And who are we to take something's life away, you know? It's just as easy to shoo it away and let it scurry off. There's no controlling the roaches at the garden. They're there, and the beetles and the spiders. And the other day, a little child picked up a flower pot and found a legless lizard, which is essentially like a garden snake. And he picked it up with his bare hands and was like, wow, really examining it. And I'm like, okay, let's just let it go and be free. And it squiggled off. And then he proceeded to say, you know what? I want to build a habitat for him. Do you have a pot? And he started gathering supplies in the garden. He got a little plastic flower pot. He pulled some vines and found all these different little things and created this little structure. And he said, this is going to be the new home for the snake. So, you know, it's a beautiful thing. Like, some kids would squeam away from a garden snake. This kid said, hey, I'm going to build a habitat for him. So those are like the small little lessons that happen day to day, but what's the long-term picture? This kid might grow up to be, you know, start his own animal rescue or something, and it all started with this little seed. So,
it's amazing
yeah.
what kids learn. The beauty of the Delray Beach Children's Garden. We're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, let's talk about your new book that's coming out.
Yay, I'm
Don't
excited.
forget, tune in every Saturday at 9 o'clock on our Kids Television Network to see what Veggie Vero is up to. We're going to find out about the new book. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Tax alert! Tax alert! I was receiving letter after letter from the IRS.
I got Mike Velati on the phone and I said, Mike, I got a problem.
He took the pressure off my shoulders.
He just made me feel like I had Superman on my side.
Trust me, he's the man to go to.
IRS problems? I'm Mike Velarde, enrolled agent. I can help. My company, Winning Tax Solutions, has always gotten our clients the best possible results. Visit us at winningtaxsolutions.com or call us today.
Looking for a place to get your ice cream fix? Look no further than Cold Stone Creamery. At Cold Stone, we make our ice cream fresh every single day in store. We have over 20 different ice cream base flavors and over 30 different mix-ins to choose from. We also have plenty of signature creations if you don't want to go ahead and choose your own. To end your creation, you can put it in one of our freshly made waffles. We have ice cream cakes, ice cream sandwiches, milkshakes, smoothies, banana splits, sundaes, and so many other things for you to come check out and enjoy. We are the official ice cream store of the Brooklyn Cafe. Hope to see you soon, and remember, it's always a great day for ice cream.
Hi friends, it's Bree and Ali from Kids and Capes. Tune in Saturday mornings on the Brooklyn Cafe Kids Television Network at 10 o'clock, where we share fun and ideas. And remember, peace, love, and kindness.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
And
And we are back. I'm excited to announce Bree and Allie will be back live next week for Kids and Capes. They have had some spectacular summer. So I don't know how we're going to fit all of their summer into 30 minutes, but I'm excited. They're actually
multiple weeks.
They are now on Times Square billboard on Broadway. Their pictures are. Yep.
What are they?
They were just in Hamptons Fashion Week last week, and yesterday they were on the Broadway New York Fashion Week, walking the catwalk in Fashion Week, and their pictures are on the Times Square billboard.
We got a picture of them?
Yep. I actually put it out on the Kids Television Network, but unbelievable, right? To see their pictures on that Times Square, what's it called? The Ticketron? Not the Ticketron, but whatever that big screen is.
Oh, the thing that I want to put in here.
No, the big screen on Broadway, the big TV.
Oh, the big TVs.
That's what they're on.
Wow.
Pretty amazing, right?
I
So
kinda
they will
like
be
that.
live back in studio next week, and they're just rocking and rolling, doing their thing.
I tell you, they are destined for bigger and better things. Why are you dancing?
He's happy. The sun is out.
No, he's dancing.
Man.
He's dancing because the Dolphins lost and won. And when they win, when they lose, he's like the Munchkin man.
He is so happy. It's like he lives all the time at the Delray Children's Garden.
He does not.
But it'd be a great segment to send Slick there with his niece and nephew also.
Oh yeah, and Rowan too.
And Rowan and Joey.
I'll do a tour. I can do a live tour with them.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Let's do that. Slick. We're going to use his camera and his mics, head up to the Delray Beach Children's Garden to do a tour.
Oh, yeah,
That'll
we
be
should do that.
fantastic.
I'll let Freddie know.
All right, so let's head over back to Veronica. You've got how many books do you have out now?
Well, this will be number 6 of the
Wow.
Veggie Vero series, but I also have 2 additional books which are not Veggie Vero, so technically this will be my 8th book.
That's
So
incredible.
I'm excited. Yes, I'm super excited to share it with you guys. Actually, I have the proof. This is like the sample. It has a big bar across it that says not for resale. I don't know if you could see it really good on camera here, but this is my proof. I'm so excited. It turned out really, really good. The illustrations.
What's it called?
It's called Veggie Vero and the Fall Harvest Celebration.
Wow.
Fall Harvest Celebration.
Just in time.
This book is, I guess, a little bit, I guess you can say a little bit controversial, maybe, because it is challenging our traditional notion of Thanksgiving, what it is, what it means, what it celebrates. I always grew up, I loved Thanksgiving growing up. It was one of my favorite. Actually, I would like to read to you guys, if you don't mind, the author's note that I included in the back of the book, because I think it really sums up my whole like why I felt called to write this book. So
I so want her.
This is at the end of the book, the last page. Growing up, Thanksgiving was always one of my favorite holidays. I loved the food, the energy, and the warm glow of family gathered around a table sharing stories. As I transitioned into a vegan lifestyle, I began to realize that this holiday was celebrated at the expense of many lives. In the United States alone, approximately 46 million turkeys are annually bred into existence and slaughtered for Thanksgiving. These turkeys, who could have lived up to 10 years, are only 5 to 6 months old when their life is taken. A day for gratitude should not cause so much pain, especially when we have so many other delicious options. Additionally, most present-day Native American descendants do not recognize this holiday due to the horrific events that transpired between their ancestors and the European settlers. By learning and discussing the painful parts of history, we help to ensure that it never repeats itself. A kinder way to enjoy the season's festivities is by simply celebrating the fall harvest and feasting on, well, the harvest of fall. Our beautiful planet provides more than enough plant-based foods, and that's a big reason to give thanks. Consider making this small shift for your holiday gatherings. I promise that your bellies will be as full as your hearts. And may all of our celebrations be rooted in love. So it's, I think that really sums it up. I always, like I said in the note, I always loved Thanksgiving. It's always been one of my favorite holidays. The food, everything about it.
What kind of feedback are you? Well, I guess it's not out.
It's
but
not
I'm
out yet, so I'm a little bit nervous, but I do feel, I feel strongly about it. You know, asking people to take turkey off of the table for Thanksgiving is a big undertaking. I mean, it's such a staple. It's such a, I mean, so much so that we sometimes say Happy Turkey Day, right? It's become the symbol of Thanksgiving. But I stand against it. I very much believe that these are sentient beings. They're intelligent beings. I mean, that's not even a question of if. We know it is. There's been lots of studies done on these birds, as well as other animals, chickens, all of the farm animals. And they're all intelligent. They all value their lives. I mean, I don't even kill bugs, like we said before, so I'm certainly not going to eat turkey on Thanksgiving. And I have included several plant-based recipes at the end of the book that are Thanksgiving friendly. I've also included basically vegan spins on the traditional Thanksgiving things. Like, you can still have your mac and cheese just using a plant-based milk and cheese. You can still have your, you know, a lot of the side dishes already are vegan or at least vegetarian, and it just takes a very simple little swap to make it vegan. And I've included a recipe for a really delicious, it's like a shepherd's pie type of thing that will be a replacement for the turkey. It will be a main dish. It is a, let me see what it was called, I forget now. It is a chickpea and sweet potato shepherd's pie.
That's interesting.
So good.
Good.
I did make it once. I plan to make it again this year. It's amazing. It's basically like 3 layers. It's a shepherd's pie, and it has like a very Thanksgiving-y type of taste because it has the sweet potato, and it's very full of texture from the chickpeas, and you could add mushrooms to make it even more textured. It's really, really yummy.
What's in it? Chickpeas, sweet potatoes, mushrooms? That sounds interesting.
So you have, it's 3 layers. So you have sweet potato in the middle. You have on the bottom you have this kind of like chickpea and mushroom mixture, and you can also add like some greens, like if you wanted to put chopped green beans or something, you can kind of play around with it. You don't have to follow the recipe like exactly. And then on the top layer you have a crispy garlic crumb topping. Wow. So when you slice into it, you can just like see these beautiful layers, and it's decadent and delicious. And it can definitely be a main meal.
There's a place that I go because they have like I guess you call it a veggie, but it's a vegan bowl. And we've learned you can go to the store and actually buy. It's supposed to taste like ground beef, but it's really plant-based, and it's spicy. And we mix it up. We make these bowls with all the vegetables and all that, and it's delicious.
I've had that. It's really good.
It is unbelievable. So we started to experiment more and more, finding replacements for meats,
Yeah.
which they have. You know, it's not like in the day when we first started to do the vegan stuff. It was, number one, very expensive, and you couldn't find it anywhere.
Right. Yeah.
Whole Foods is a leader in vegan now. They have everything you could want.
Well, where we live, it's very easy to find things, so we're very
Yeah.
fortunate in that respect.
We've come so far. Yeah, we have very easy access to all of those like meat replacements. But I really try to stress to people that you don't, not to rely so heavily on those, because first of all, not everybody has easy access to those. And second of all, they are actually more expensive, even though they're more affordable now than they've ever been, but they're still more expensive than just like vegetable, like, a can of beans, for example, like,
Right.
Beans and pastas. And some of these things are like, we're talking about $1. Like, they're so affordable. And you can make these really giant filling meals out of them, and they're plant-based.
But let me ask you, how do you approach the subject? Because this is done for kids on Thanksgiving and not hurting the turkeys to make it kid-friendly.
So in the book, a little turkey wanders into the town of Kalesville, which is Veggie Vero's vegan town that she lives in, plant-based town. And the turkey is very upset, and he's seeking help for his family, because the people in his town are planning a Thanksgiving feast, and they want to eat turkey. They want to eat his family. And so Veggie Vero kind of swoops into action and says, don't worry, we will teach the people of your town that plant-based meals can be delicious and compassionate, and they don't need to hurt your family. And remember, all change begins with knowledge. And so she goes to the town, and she brings a lot of yummy plant-based foods with her, and she feeds them all and talks about how intelligent and loving and smart these birds are, and how they value their lives, and how we don't need to eat them. We have all these other options. And she also does mention the origin of Thanksgiving, and that a lot of Native American people don't. Well, she actually says in the book, you may have been taught that Thanksgiving is celebrating a peaceful dinner between pilgrims and Native people of the land. And we now know that that's not the case. Pilgrims were very hurtful and harmful to the Native people of the land, forcing them to leave their homes. And so we are asking you to celebrate a fall harvest, which is more inclusive of everybody. And just kind of, I worded it in a way that it's not, there's nothing gruesome in the book. There's nothing, that's going to make your child cry. But what I'm hoping is that it just opens up conversations. You don't have to make drastic changes. I'm not like going to judge anybody for saying Happy Thanksgiving. I still say it, but I'm just saying, let's open up our minds and talk to our children about the real history of these holidays, because tradition can be a very dangerous thing. Traditions, just because something is tradition doesn't mean that it's right or that it's just.
That's true.
There was a lot of horrible traditions throughout history. Slavery was tradition,
Right. It's teaching
So
your
we've
kids
evolved
options.
as human beings. We have evolved. We've come a long way. And I think that it's good to keep our minds open and talk about these things.
Good.
So
Interesting.
Yes.
When does the book come out?
It comes out October 9th is going to be my book release party. And I'm going to have the book release at Rhodey's Readery, which is a children's bookstore that specializes in books that are all about social justice.
Where is that?
It's in West Palm Beach.
Wow, very cool.
Yeah, I'm excited.
They still have bookstores, huh? They still exist?
Well, I think they're a little less common than they used to be, but this is a really special one. The woman who started it she has a beautiful mission, and she's an amazing person. Rhodey's Readery, actually, if you guys want to look it up, let me just make sure that I get the proper spelling of it, because she definitely deserves all the recognition. It is R-O... Where is it? sorry, I'm having a hard time finding. Oh, here it is. So it's ROHI apostrophe S Rohi's Readery. And you can look her up on Instagram. She's very active on there, posting all of their special events.
We should definitely look her up because it is, you always say, if we don't learn from history, history is bound to repeat itself.
Correct.
So good and bad, right? If
Absolutely.
that of history that is good you want, that of history that is bad, even if it's tradition, does not necessarily mean we want it to continue to repeat itself.
Absolutely.
And it all starts with the kids.
And it's interesting because there's the reasons that you pointed out to go in that direction, and there's other reasons of health, mental awareness, fogginess, all of this stuff that I'm reading all of a sudden. In the day, you were told to eat sugar. In the day, we were promised that sugar will set you free. And as you could tell, that isn't true either. And the masses did that.
Well, that would be based on the sugar farming industry?
It was based on a lot of people making a lot of money in this country off of sugar, yes. Now they have other things like black cloud, which is the burning of the sugar cane and the damage it creates to the earth. There's so many things that are coming out. I think that people are becoming more and more aware of just how much damage we're doing to our planet, to our house, to our home. You see these hurricanes and tidal waves and everything else that's going on. There's no accidents here. Except for a couple of the fires that were man-made, there's really no accidents here. And we gotta find another plan. So, I never ate salads like I eat now. Now I'm willing to try almost anything.
No blue cheese dressing?
There's nothing wrong with blue cheese dressing. But wouldn't you rather have me eat a pound of salad if it has some blue cheese than a pound not?
I'm not sure.
I am sure.
I'm not so sure. It depends.
There are different types of blue cheese. You only know of one, I know of 12. I also know of 15 bean salad.
15 bean, wow.
15 bean soup, I'm sorry. 15 soup, which is delicious. I got that recipe from Weight Watchers. Tremendous. I eat it for a week.
Yeah.
It makes a lot. But it's about teaching our kids alternatives and keeping them healthy and getting them engaged in cooking. And oh my gosh, I can't wait. There's so many more things I'd love to do, and I know you are so busy, but I love it when you send new episodes.
Yes, I do enjoy them. I'm glad that I get to film them at the garden too. It gives the garden a little shout out, and it's also just so peaceful being there. Sometimes it's nice to be there when there's no one else there and really like soak it in. The birds chirping, and just have my little camera set up. It's I love it.
So beautiful, but I definitely want to see if we can get some cameras up there and take a tour.
Yeah, let's do a tour. Let's set it up for sure.
I ordered stuff.
Did you?
Yeah. Well, nothing exciting. I think it's toilet paper and paper towels.
What's wrong with
Don't get too excited about what came in the box. It's just the necessities.
He makes it sound like it's heavy. Look at him. Unbelievable.
Where can people get your books?
So the books are available on my website, veggievero.com. And the new one is not up there yet, but it will be very soon, so keep an eye out for that. And you could always follow me on Facebook or Instagram to get updates on book releases and events. On Instagram, I'm at Veggie Vero. And on Facebook, Veronica Green is my personal page, and then I have a business page is Veggie Vero as well. So just look up Veggie Vero, you'll find me. I'm the only Veggie Vero out there.
Imagine having a Veggie Vero birthday party where Veggie Vero comes to visit you at your birthday party. That would be really cool.
You could do that, and then when her new book comes out, she could sign books.
This is what
That's
I'm
tremendous.
seeing, yeah. Veggie Vero comes to your birthday party.
I love
Oh my
that.
gosh. Yeah, I'll dress up in her outfit. I'll have the cape on and the
Totally,
overalls,
why
her whole
not,
outfit.
right? And then you can do a story time as Veggie Vero, and you can call and have Veggie Vero at your child's birthday party. You can contact us here through the cafe or find her on her website. That's the next thing to promote.
I like that. That's a good idea.
So for the book release party, which is, I think I said already, October 9th at Rhodey's Readery, we are going to do a story time, and we're going to have a craft. The kids are going to get to make their own superhero capes. So that's exciting. I just wanted to throw that out there.
That's awesome.
It's a free event. You can. We're gonna have an Eventbrite page set up soon, so you could kind of pre-register and just give us a heads up that you're coming. So definitely follow me if you don't already so that you can know when the Eventbrite page is up and running. I want to see all of my little veggie heads out there.
That's awesome. What a great idea. Superhero capes like Veggie Vero.
Do you have a newsletter?
I do have a newsletter, yes.
You do?
Yeah, you can sign up for it on my website as well.
Very interesting. That's the path of the future right now.
So November 14th, are you around? It's a Sunday.
So Sundays I'm usually working at the garden, but I mean if it's something special I can maybe make arrangements. Is that the day you're doing
Square. Old School Square, so right around the corner from you. Let's see if we can connect them because I know, you are the perfect person to have at this event.
What exactly is the event again?
It's a Kids for Education event. So somehow we can get you in contact with them. Maybe she can be one of the community advocates because you're already at the garden, or maybe we can funnel people over to the garden.
That's what I'm
time
thinking.
is it at?
10 to 2.
Okay. That's like our exact open hours, 10 to 1 actually.
But maybe we can funnel people through, so close.
Yes.
Over to the garden
It
to
is
bring
so
some
close.
awareness to the children's garden.
Yeah, it might be again, we have to work on it, but I think it might be beneficial because it's right around the corner for me.
Yeah, definitely.
That would be great.
That'd be awesome.
All right, we'll make that connection. All right, let's take a commercial break. When we come back, more with Kids in Education. So stay tuned. Give us a call, 888-994-4995, Studio A. And we'll be right back.
Welcome to Lost Harbor Spirits, a world where pirates inspire our spirits, treasures remain undiscovered, and flavors are infused with the essence of mysterious voyages. The distillery became one of the few women-owned craft spirits production sites in the U.S. From our award-winning spirits of vodka and rum to delicious gin, we're always coming up with some new and exciting flavors to keep your cocktails delicious and fresh. Proudly distilling out of West Palm Beach, Florida, Lost Harbor Spirits is a true treasure waiting to be discovered. Contact Palm Beach Distillery at lostharborspirits.com to take a tour or purchase your favorite spirit at your local liquor store.
Born in Marseille, France, Max Lazega creates whimsical and free-flowing interpretive art. His 40 years in the construction industry created the foundation for his craft. His unique work displays his view of the future with bold and playful combinations of materials and processes, but the methodology remains consistent. He fuses recycled materials and discarded building supplies into a fresh, well-executed approach. Lazega has lived in Miami, Florida most of his life, where he pursues his lifelong passion of creating industrial art. For more information, contact Max Lazega at artworkstudios.org or 786-326-88.
Hi, I'm Tracy McDonough, owner and founder of Healing Moments. Healing Moments is a healing playroom, a mind, body, spirit center. Our service is love and compassion, and the environment is soothing, peaceful, and inviting. Every area is designed for healing and peace. We deliver services such as massage therapy or lymphatic drainage, energy healing and Reiki, chakra balancing, physical vascular therapy for circulation and pain, vibrational medicine using frequencies and oils, and music in order to calm and relax your mind, body, and spirit. We also offer detoxification services using infrared sauna, ionic foot baths, and power plates. All of our modalities are designed to reduce stress, anxiety, induce relaxation, relieve pain, and provide detoxification and inflammation reduction for optimal healing and wellness.
Jay Harmon exclusively in the Gallery of Boca. Jay Harmon captures the essence of really creative and captivating mind. Jay Harmon brings the light into the darkness on majority of his pieces, using a negative background to highlight the details of some of his looks. I know some artists use white canvases, but he thrives on a black canvas. And here's the kicker. He only uses pencil, colored pencil, graphite pencil, and pencil for his art pieces. Yes, I know it's hard to fathom that these beautiful pieces came from pencil, but yes, they did. And the only way you can experience J. Harmon is if you come to the gallery of Boca. J. Harmon, an unconventional artist with a unique story behind every canvas.
Welcome to AMP2 TV, the first and only internet production company that's truly plugged in. When you're looking for a full-service internet radio, TV production company, discover AMP2 TV. AMP2 TV is a full-service media company that can provide all streaming videos, video studios, radio studios, and television studios. Call us today at 866-224-5422, for no business is too small to grow to be accounted. It's time for your message to be seen. Let AMP2 TV help get you there.
Text alert! Text alert! I was receiving letter after letter from the IRS.
I got Mike Velati on the phone and I said, Mike, I got a problem.
He took the pressure off my shoulders.
He just made me feel like I had Superman on my side.
Trust me, he's the man to go to.
IRS problems? I'm Mike Velarde, enrolled agent. I can help. My company, Winning Tax Solutions, has always gotten our clients the best possible results. Visit us at winningtaxsolutions.com or call us today.
Born in Marseille, France, Max Lazega creates whimsical and free-flowing interpretive art. His 40 years in the construction industry created the foundation for his craft. His unique work displays his view of the future with bold and playful combinations of materials and processes, but the methodology remains consistent. He fuses recycled materials and discarded building supplies into a fresh, well-executed approach. Lazega has lived in Miami, Florida most of his life, where he pursues his lifelong passion of creating industrial art. For more information, contact Max Lazega at artworkstudios.org or 786-326-8873.
Even though some things are far away, we plan for them ahead of time because they're important. When it comes to your celebration of life, it's really no different. You want to plan ahead now so your family doesn't have to later, and create a service that reflects your values, character, and traditions, no matter what they may be. At Dignity Memorial, we listen to every detail and make sure everyone is remembered.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
Got a lot of people watching. That's okay.
Idea of the day.
What's the idea of the day?
Idea of the day. Find your work-life balance. Prevent heat exhaustion. Stay safe this summer. Oh my gosh, it has gotten so hot. We're just talking about this. Drink lots of water, stay hydrated.
Today's peanut butter day.
Today is National Peanut Day, yes.
Peanut-
How did you take
peanut or
that
peanut
and flip that? Because that's what you do.
It's peanut butter.
Peanut.
You say peanut.
It's National Peanut Day. Today
Well-
is National Peanut Day. Do you know peanut is considered not a nut?
It's a vegetable.
Right? Peanuts are not nuts. But they are, but they're not.
I have heard this. I am not an expert on the topic, but I've heard something like that because they actually come in a pod, so they're technically like a legume.
Correct. That's what I had heard. Mm-hmm. But yet, it's a nut butter, so, and highly allergic. But they, I think, considered actually.
You're allergic?
I'm not, but I know a lot of kids are, so I'm ventured to say you're not doing a whole lot of peanut butter.
No, at the garden we actually are nut free. We don't do all of the cooking lessons that I teach are without any nuts at all, which is tricky sometimes. But we use sun butter, which is sunflower seed butter, and that's a really great alternative for anybody who has allergies, and it's very tasty. Also, I was going to say, since I didn't realize it was National Peanut Day. So at the garden right now, we have 3 peanut butter fruit trees, and they're all blooming. They're fruiting, I should say. They're totally fruiting. There's all these delicious peanut butter fruits. And if you don't know what a peanut butter fruit is, it's a delicious red berry, I guess it's a berry. And it's kind of like a mushy consistency, and it tastes like peanuts, but it's not related to peanuts. So if you have an allergy, you can enjoy that flavor without actually eating peanuts.
What's it called?
Peanut butter fruit tree.
What was it you made me buy once? Wasn't that?
Sun butter. Oh, almond butter?
Yeah.
But you didn't like that. But I do like sun butter.
Comes in different brands, and all of a sudden I found out every brand is different.
Well, some have sugar added, some are pre-processed, some are just regular almond.
The almond butter, a lot of times it's too thick. Like it's hard to like spread it. It's like very, very thick. So, and that's what I like about the sun butter is it's super creamy.
I like sun butter a lot.
Yeah, me too.
Those with nut allergies.
I like peanut butter.
I know, but today's National Peanut Day.
It didn't say that. It said peanut butter.
We'll see when it comes across. We have a new news station that comes across our channel over here, which is pretty cool that we get to do that. But heat stroke has been a tremendous thing. We talk about global warming and what's happening. You want the kids outside in nature, and Florida, this past weekend was so hot. I mean, we're middle of September, going into October soon. And the heat index, it says only in the 80s, but I think it's much hotter.
And it's funny because up in New York, it's 76 degrees. And here is 94. And my sister said, oh yeah, the weather's getting cooler. Where? Not down here.
National Peanut Day, September 13th.
You know, you're always right. That's national peanut. I'm talking about domestic peanut.
Domestic peanut, there you go. What are you guys doing? You had some exciting news. There is now fresh water.
Oh yeah. It's so funny because this sounds like so, I guess, boring to like a kid. The kids don't care about it, but for me it's very exciting. At the garden we now have fresh, filtered, cold water as a permanent station there under our Cheeky Hut. And that's exciting for us because it's cold water and we don't have to go to the store and buy jugs of ice and water every time we have a program. So it's actually a lot more eco-friendly too, which we're all about. Because in the past we were just buying plastic jugs of water and of course we were recycling them, but still now we have it stationary there, so that's exciting.
Is there a fee to come to the garden?
Yes, if you come on the weekends, it's just $5 per child. And if you come for one of our programs, the programs are all priced differently. The Thursday Mother Nature and Me program is $10 per child. The homeschool program, which is a 10-week session, it's $300, so I guess it's like $30 per class. So they're all priced differently. But if you come during our open hours on the weekend, it's just $5 per child. We really try to keep it affordable for everyone in the community to be able to come and enjoy the space.
Have a whole lot of fun. And when you look back, you're still young to look back. As I'm looking back, and you look back on your kids and your grandkids, you realize all these opportunities that we probably missed because of whatever, it was hot or the kids were crying or and you got frustrated. Now you look back and go, why did I get frustrated? Why, maybe I should have enjoyed that moment a little bit more. So instead of having regrets, you just got to take those moments and enjoy them.
No.
Yeah.
Still frustrated.
Yeah, but
Still frustrated.
You don't look at things differently now?
I don't look at that anymore. I look at how do I make it better. So,
Like when you see your grandsons, don't you look at that and say, all right, I'm going to do this differently than I did as a parent because maybe I was frustrated, maybe I was preoccupied.
Absolutely not.
Really? You do it the same way?
I was good then and I'm better now. It's amazing what you could do with a ball of aluminum foil ball.
Really?
You give that to a kid and they're mesmerized. It's how you deliver it now. I used to do that thing to Freddie about taking the paint and holding on to it and going like this. And the claw and all that. I used to do all of that. But to watch little Rowan enjoy these things, and now I would introduce the farm and farming and seeds and things a little bit different. My delivery is a little bit different because I want him to appreciate what he's about to learn. A lot of people learn it, and if it ain't hip, they don't keep it. The game is not learning it, the game is keeping it. And today's attention span is 2.3 seconds. That's it.
But I think when the kids get outside, it's different.
Maybe. But if they start getting noise from other people that don't do it,
Right.
and they start making all these judgment calls, what do you mean you go to a farm and this and then it becomes different. So you have to make them feel special because they did go and express. I learned that lesson down in Davie with the little ponies and the horses down there. Always wanted to ride a horse. Scared to death. I am scared to death of horses. My uncles all have horses in Puerto Rico. Never rode them.
Really?
Never rode them. Me and the horse have an understanding. I don't get on your back, you don't get on mine. That's what I used to tell my uncle.
Wow. Horses, roaches.
Lizards.
Interesting.
Oh, iguanas. Do you have an iguana catcher?
A cat?
Iguana
A cat.
catcher.
Cats are iguana catchers.
Cat.
Iguana.
A cat will catch your iguana.
No, these will eat my cats.
What's an iguana catcher?
You know how you have your roach catcher? He wants an iguana catcher.
Oh no.
I have somebody that taught me, if you go to Home Depot, they sell the iguana catchers. The problem is not catching them. Is what the hell do you do with them when you catch them?
Just get a cat.
I got two. I got a Maine Coon who's 28 pounds. He runs the other way. These things are so huge.
Really? Oh my gosh.
They're taller than you.
They're big.
You seen the one we have here?
No.
Gomer? Well, somebody got rid of Gomer.
I've got one at my house that's about as big as you.
Oh my goodness.
It's got to be 4 feet, and it's got a thing that comes out of its. Yeah. And
At the garden, we have there's 5 cats that are they're stray cats, but we kind of feed them and care for them, and they kind of just like live there, and they keep the iguanas away because we have an abundance of food that would be all eaten up by iguanas. Not long ago, I walked in and nobody was there yet, and I heard this like crunching sound. And I go and I look, and under our cheeky head there was one of the kitties chewing on what was left of an iguana.
Really?
Yep, there was nothing left but the head. It was like pretty morbid, but I said, hey, I guess, you gotta eat
There's
something.
nature at its finest. I had no idea. Did you know cats eat iguanas?
They would chase anything. Mr. Wiggles used to bring me snakes.
But they ate it.
Ate it. Oh yeah, fully
Depends
ate it.
on how
Everything
hungry
but
they
the
are.
head.
Don't eat anything. It's like tuna fish.
Gosh. No,
And
I
gotta
had
tell you,
not heard that.
It's a great idea about helping animals. There was this turtle crossing the road, and I stopped the car to go and help it along. It snapped at me. It
Just
would have
'cause he's
taken my
scared.
fingers off.
Just because he's scared. He's
So
just
am I. So I went home, I got a broom, and I sort of whooshed it along. And it's snapping at the broom. I forget about it. It's just, animals are very protective.
What's next for Veggie Vero?
Well, I'm just excited about my new book coming out. That comes out on the 9th, October 9th. And excited about the book release party. And what else is next? I don't know. When I'm in like homeschool mode, I'm like very preoccupied. Every week I'm planning my lessons, and it's a great time, but it's a 10-week session. So I'm in full-blown homeschool mode until that 10-week session is over, and then maybe I'll start working on the next book.
It's a lot to do, but it's so great because when I was growing up, homeschool was not even a thing.
Oh yeah.
And in Delray Beach, it seems to really be something that has taken off more and more. When you and I first started working together, there was one school that we knew of. And then two, and then parents started opening up their own little pods. We talked about this during COVID,
Right.
of homeschooling, so that your kids, you knew kind of the cohort that they were going to be in. You knew everyone was keeping each other safe and watching each other's kids when school was closed. And then they started doing these great activities and getting back to nature and different ways of learning. It's a lot more work for the parents, but it's also a great experience for the kids.
Homeschooling today, I think it's available to anybody that wants it, right? There's a test or something?
Florida Virtual, which is different than what you guys are
homeschooling
doing.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's available to anyone because you really have to be able to, there has to be a parent, you have to have a parent that's not working basically in the household. Or
Right,
that's
exactly.
not working full time. And not
Well, that's the
everybody
other problem
can do
is
that.
mom and dad teaching you homeschooling becomes another challenge because they're mom and dad. You know, when I went to school, my teacher, I spent more time with my teacher than I did with my parents. All of my teachers. So they, to me, were, somebody I looked up to, I respected differently than my parents.
Yeah.
Parents were more about don't mess up because if you did, you get in trouble. Teachers too, but not like your parents. So I think that the way things are right now with the mask and the virus and everything else, and a lot of people wanting to homeschool kids, I had this conversation with somebody the other day. It's not the same as having mom and dad teach you at home. The game is different. You don't absorb it, and then the parents usually are over strict because they want you to. And it's just not a good
Oh
feel.
my gosh, I remember having to teach my son, trying to teach him phonics.
Oh, yeah.
And I bought Hooked on Phonics. Disaster.
Why did you need
100%.
It's hard.
Because you don't realize the mind of a child. And just when you think they're delayed, they may not be delayed. They're just choosing not to learn that situation.
And a lot of times it's different when you're learning from, sometimes they don't want to hear it from mom and dad. I mean, let's just be realistic. Like, they're with mom and dad every evening at least, right? So sometimes mom and dad can be annoying to them, you know? But if you have the same lesson being taught from someone else, a different, like some other facilitator or for some other teacher, then all of a sudden you see their interest sparks, and it's just because it's somebody else, which can be frustrating as a parent, I'm sure.
Totally. I sat with him and I said, you're going to learn phonics, you're going to learn to read, you're going to learn to read. And he was not having it. It just was, he was just not ready to do it. And then he opened a thing, he goes, okay, now I'm going to read.
Well, let me tell you, a lot of the homeschooled kids, they actually start reading a lot later than kids who are going to school, because the whole curriculum is different for homeschoolers. It's a lot of times it's a lot less like rushed and pushing things on the kids, because there's no like SAT and ACT and all this stuff that they have to feel all this pressure about. It's just kind of learning what you are ready to learn when you're ready to learn it. And so a lot of times you'll see homeschoolers and they really just started reading at like, I don't know, like 7 years old, when some of the 5 and 6 year olders from schools have like already started like learning to read and stuff. So and there's nothing wrong with either way. It's just different.
Totally different. You see what your kids' strengths are, and you play, as you always say, play towards your strengths and not your weaknesses. But we learned firsthand through Space of Mind. We got to do a lot of work with them last year. And you see these hands-on projects, and when we got to cover the World's Fair at the end of the year, every kid is different.
Yeah.
And they're totally different when you get to see on a smaller basis of all these different projects, and they're actually going to be featured at the Delray Beach Chamber of Commerce, I believe, next month.
You know, discipline and staying the course has always been the biggest challenge that parents, they don't get it. When I used to coach football, I had some NFL players challenge me that I was doing it wrong. I'll never forget this. And I said to him, you wait till the end of the year and we see where we're at. And it was them teaching them all to move, 11 kids at the same time in one direction, and creating these plays in one direction. They changed everything in school and in their life, because they figured out that the path of least resistance is the right way to learn. So in your son's case, you just have to be patient and let him catch up. Now, I grew up with parents that didn't speak English. So when my teacher, Mrs. Goldstein, had my mother go to school, she says, your son has problems saying these colors, like yellow. And she says, say it. And I said it. And she says to Ms. Goldstein, yellow, what's the problem? And she understood. She says, oh, he learned it from you. Because I learned broken English from mom. But I did it good.
Yes.
I had no one else to tell me how to do it right. So she says to me, don't worry, Freddie, I understand. So they put me in the lowest reading color code book. Remember, purple was #1, yellow was like, forget about it.
The SRA, yep.
They made fun of me. I got bullied because I was an athlete in school. So everything I did, everybody took it out of proportion. And I started to read 10 books a day just to get to purple, man. And it was hard. And then I realized, maybe I got an issue. Maybe I have to learn how to read in English. Big problems. So.
But I love what you're doing. It's so great
All
about
the kids
inspiring
do learn
the
at
kids.
such different levels. That's a great example. They all learn at their own pace, and that's one of the difficult issues with schools, especially with public schools, is we're trying to force all of them to learn the same things at the same time, at the same pace, and in the same format. And that doesn't work, you know. They all have their own special needs. So it's really beautiful to see in our homeschool program. It ranges from ages 3 up to, I think our oldest one this semester is 8. And so when you see those different age groups and they're all at different levels and they're intermingling with each other, the little ones are learning from the older ones, and the older ones are being kind of like almost mentors to the little ones, and then also learning from us, the facilitators. It's just this really nice blend of ages and learning, and it's a great thing. So if you ever have the opportunity to homeschool, I highly recommend everyone tries it. And if you don't have the opportunity, make sure you're getting your outdoor time in whenever you have weekends, whatever. Come and visit us at the garden.
All right, go and check out the Delray Beach Children's Garden. Check out the website, which is
VeggieVero.com is my website for my books. And if you're interested in the garden and all the things that are happening there, the website is dbcgarden.org.
DBC for Delray Beach Children's Garden.org.
Yeah,
Check
DBC.
them both out. Also, every Saturday at 9 o'clock, you can find Veggie Vero on Kids Television Network. Let's take a commercial break. When we come back, I want to hear RK's take on homeschooling and the Kids Television Network.
Why RK?
Why not?
Okay, let's put him on the spot.
Exactly. Stay tuned.
Brooklyn Cafe Show coffee. The official coffee of the Brooklyn Cafe Show. You can pick up a bag from us, or two. Contact us at 866-224-5422, or just stop on by. We're at 2400 Northwest Boca Raton Boulevard, Suite 13. Come on in, grab a bag of our signature Brooklyn Cafe coffee. The cafe doors are always open.
Since 9 years old, Gina Presser has created enchanting, whimsical art. She conjures pieces from real stories and artistically expresses the feelings had from them. Achieved with Italian papers, paints, flowers, metals, and clays. Her eccentric finishing touch is her glittery diamond dust cascaded across her paintings and pottery. Gina Presser also hosts weekend art camps, teaching adults and children pottery, painting, and jewelry. Her work can be found in multiple staging homes, family Christian bookstores, and in New Jersey boutiques. For more information, Gina can be reached at livinglifeartfully@gmail.com or by phone at 954-857-5444.
AMP2 TV and WWNN Money Talk Radio have been in conjoint business for over 10 years. They have been working around the clock non-stop to promote over 500 shows and businesses reaching all over South Florida. With added platforms such as social media live streaming, podcasts, and the specialty of live radio, it has never been easier to get your voice heard by millions of listeners. To amplify your impact and start your show today, contact AMP2 TV at 866-224-5422. That's 866-224-5422.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
And we're back.
And we're back.
That's
And
slick.
Slick's on the board. I want to bring RK into this conversation. I don't know why you kind of just popped into my head.
I don't know why either.
I think because he's fun and always laughing and joking around. I feel like you would work really well with kids.
I'm really awkward with kids, actually. I never know like what to say because I'm such a provocative person by myself.
You're provocative?
And there's so many things you're not supposed to say to kids that
Oh, yes. I will vouch for that.
Yeah, right? So
Your
it's-
mouth is like a sewer sometimes.
For me, I just kind of nod my head and say, yeah, do you want a sticker? And I just kind of awkwardly give them a sticker at work because, I work at an ice cream place. We have
Do
stickers.
you
in little
want a
bins.
sticker?
Yeah.
Stickers at
kids
ice
love
What about
stickers.
how would you like a sticker if you eat this?
That's too much of a complex sentence for a 3-year-old, I think. I don't know. I don't know the kid. Maybe they're a genius.
He
Maybe
works
they're
at an
not.
ice cream store.
I never know. It's hard to read
Do
kids.
you associate with children?
I'm sorry? Do I
Can you associate? Can you speak to children?
I kind of. Like, again, like,
you
it's kind of
picked
awkward.
the best segment here. This guy is not even...
I can barely speak to people my own age. What makes you think I can speak to 5-year-olds?
I see that.
So RK and Freddie are going to do this whole ventriloquist act. Veronica.
Okay.
I'm waiting to see how this whole thing plays out.
So am I.
It's going to be comedic gold.
We actually have the cowboy hats we're going to do.
I think we totally have to put that together.
And we're going to use one of the air horsey heads.
The what?
Those horse, and you blow them up.
Oh, from
They're
Slick Saloon?
Yeah. We're going to use one of those as well. I got to tell you, when I was growing up, we always wanted to be on a farm with horses. So we took a stick, and we used to run around riding a stick. Did you ever do that? Anybody ever seen that before?
I know what you're talking about. I
Yeah.
feel like that's really old school.
Yeah, well, Freddie's old school.
Oh, I went in my young school. Have you ever seen anybody running around with a stick?
I've seen it in like movies, like Toy Story, but I've never seen it like in the
Movies?
flesh.
You've never rode on a stick?
Broomsticks, broomsticks, I guess.
Broomstick.
What are you, a witch? You never made believe you were a cowboy on a stick.
I don't think. I think like back in like kindergarten or something, we would watch a horse movie in one of our classes.
What kind of childhood did
And
you
then
have?
we would pretend to like gallop on horses, but we wouldn't do it on sticks.
Well, what else
We would
am I
just
going to use?
We would just pantomime.
Panto?
Pantomime? Yeah.
Make believe? That's more crazier than riding a stick.
But RK, can't you see RK like go?
You think I can still do that? Maybe I do. So what?
Which? You never had a stick that you rode around with?
A broomstick?
When you were a kid?
No. I
You
had
never played?
I had an invisible dog.
Whoa.
You guys are calling me crazy?
You had an invisible dog.
Yes, on a leash, and we would walk. I would walk the
Oh, I
invisible
remember
dog.
they used to sell those.
Exactly.
Yeah, but you did that as a joke. I was really on a stick.
Don't
That was my
tell you
horse.
about that one, but
That's how I got
no.
my exercise.
But I want to send maybe RK and Slick up to the Delray Beach Children's Garden and get some footage up there.
I think that would be
Kind of
fun.
get back into
Do you
nature.
got insurance?
Absolutely.
A lot of insurance?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we do.
Because you send these two guys.
Why don't you send Alana, since she's great
And
with
Alana
kids.
too, yes.
She could even be a segment for one of her shows, honestly.
Yep, exactly.
Or the
Come
taps,
on over.
maybe?
It'll be fun. I'll give you guys a tour.
Taps would be
You guys
kind
can
of
play
cool.
in the mud kitchen.
No, there we go. Give us some cooking lessons.
What's that?
Give us some cooking lessons or something. Teach how to do. Because she's good. That's her specialty, bro.
Oh, you haven't seen the latest of Slick Speaks on Thursday nights?
I was there.
Yeah, with Slick says
Slick,
he's in
maybe bring
control.
your niece and nephew.
He's mad. I'm talking about his woman.
He's upset. Wow.
But I think that would.
Repeat it, Dan. Don't repeat it.
Wow.
That'll be a fun segment to do. You have friends that did homeschooling?
Yeah. So I had some friends that were geniuses that did homeschooling. I had some friends who weren't the brightest crayon in the box who did homeschooling. I think really that just kind of depends on the parent, depends on
Yeah.
what they teach. If you have a parent that teaches open-mindedness and multiple perspectives, I think it's a really good thing.
Yeah.
If you have a parent who's kind of egotistical about what they know and they just teach one side of things, it can be detrimental.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Did you say crayons, brightest crayons in a box?
You never heard that before?
Is that what you said?
It's like the sharpest tool in the shed.
Sharpest tool in the shed. I never heard the brightest crayon in a box.
You like that, right?
I'm a little confused.
See, but my perspective now is different than my perspective when I was raising my kids on things, and it's totally changed.
What does that mean?
Because you're more experienced, right? You've gone through more things in life.
No, she's pointing out to your flaws or things that you would do differently.
Things that I would do differently, yeah, and it wouldn't be maybe about they have to read at 2. It's about when it works for them. Chelsea opened a book at 2 and was reading.
Well, but you did that or she did that?
She did, but to me that wasn't the normal thing to do. So she opened a book and just read at 2.5. A book.
So why isn't that normal?
It was normal for her, but that's not normal for everyone. So then your expectations, her bar was like, whoop. So it's different. So I would say, oh, I couldn't do homeschooling. I needed the break for my kids or whatever. But now I look at things a little bit differently, that it's a time to cherish and say, you know what? Maybe take those few extra moments and go to the garden or take your kids out or make something different.
There are certain children that are very audio and very visual. Like Joey. When Gio gets on the phone, he's talking a mile a minute. He's talking to the TV. So he'll jump on his father's lap and he wants to understand what he's saying. So Gio speaks to him in adult language. It's amazing. And when Gio was 2, he was the same kid as his son. So nothing surprises me anymore. Especially, I had 2 of the most opposite children you can ever think of.
And your grandkids are opposite too.
Completely opposite. Completely.
Right.
But you know something, I don't expect anything anymore. I learn from it.
That's what I'm saying. We learn
what comes
as we get older.
No, I back in the day, I was the same way. It was one of the benefits of coaching. You have to learn what the talent has. Not everybody can pitch. Not everybody can play outfield. Not everybody can play shortstop. So you have to sort of learn what the kids can do. So they will bring you all the information you need.
Veronica, has your perspective changed as you've been working at the garden with the different kids and families?
Yeah, because I went to public school myself. I was not homeschooled, and that was all I knew for my whole life. And then all of a sudden, my eyes have been opened up to this whole new way of learning and way of teaching children. And I realized that it's not so much a race to the finish line. You know, with kids, we, like you said, we have our standards are set so high because we want our kids to be able to read at the same time as everyone else. And it's not a race. They're all going to learn how to read. They're all going to learn to add and subtract. They're all going to learn all the things. So while we're trying to push them to learn it so quickly, we're missing out on really enriching, fulfilling moments that creative type of learning could be happening. You know, in my opinion, almost like more important learning could be happening. Things that are going to sink deep within them and help them to become the people that they're going to become. The reading and the writing, that stuff will come. It's going to come. They're not going to go their whole lives and not know how to read because they didn't learn by 5, you know. So my perspective has totally shifted. I see it more as a less of a race to the finish line and more of enjoying the process over product, as they say.
And you're young, so it's nice to see that perspective. You and I are already older. We're looking at it for the next generation. She's young to be right in it, and it's enjoying the process. It's enjoying those little moments, those little wins of what it is.
Yeah, I have, when we do our Thursday program, it's called Mother Nature and Me. It's for the toddlers, so it's ages 1 to 5, so they're real little, and it's arts and craft project and a story time. And sometimes we get families who come who are new to the garden, which I love getting new families at the garden, but it's a whole new way of thinking for them. And so when they sit down to do the craft project, they look at the sample and they want their child's project to look exactly like the sample. And I have to kind of like gently, you know, somehow like make my way in and say, you know what, it's not important that it looks exactly like the sample. Just it's more for them to enjoy the process. It's process art, not product art. It doesn't matter what it looks like. So that's just kind of like a scaled down example of the bigger picture.
You know, it's amazing because what you want to do is you want to get into the vernacular. Again, everything that you learn is going to be, especially a child, is going to be judged by his peers, his or her peers. So, like today I saw something on the MTVs last night, Slick was playing it, and the guy had the information correct. He says, I got the tea. Now, we had a show in here about tea.
With Dina, right?
With Dina, which is the information that's correct. If you don't know the verbiage and they're using it, you sort of look around and you scratch your head. In here, they speak a different language. Gio speaks a different language. These guys in here, they all speak a different language. So as kids are being taught different things, they have their own language already, which makes it even more of a challenge to get on the game. So it's interesting. I love the aspect of learning new languages.
New perspectives.
Except for Slick, because he speaks a language nobody understands.
But new perspectives, and it totally, like things I think as an adult, if you went to school for, that you would appreciate more than as a kid. Like your perfect example of Thanksgiving, what we were taught of what it was. You didn't learn what you learned until you were an adult.
Right, exactly.
So it's things that are changing, maybe books to be rewritten, all of the different things that we teach our kids that maybe aren't the most accurate
And
of
Thanksgiving
information.
doesn't translate into a turkey. That's not what Thanksgiving is about.
Right, Thanksgiving. I mean, if you break down the actual name of what we call this holiday, it's a beautiful thing. It's a day for giving thanks, you know?
Trying something different could be Thanksgiving because you have the ability to do it. You can. That's the way I would do it. That's the way I taught my kids to try something different. I don't always have to be a turkey.
Right.
It can be something else.
How did that even come? Do you even know how a turkey became the symbol of Thanksgiving?
Well, supposedly it was what they feasted on at the supposed meal that happened between the Pilgrims and the Native Americans. But I mean, I don't know if that's even true. I don't even believe that dinner actually happened. You know what I mean?
You probably didn't.
It's so wishy-washy, like who really knows? But what I do know is that regardless of how it came to be, the turkey is just another exploited animal. And I do consider myself, in addition to being like an educator and a children's author, I do consider myself to be a bit of an activist. I am an animal rights activist, and my form of activism is my books that I write. So it's something that's been in my heart for a long time, is to write a Thanksgiving book. And when I started writing it, it was all about the turkey and Veggie Vero rescuing the turkeys. And then halfway through writing it, I realized, wait a minute, this isn't the only group that's being exploited during this holiday and this day of giving thanks. What about the Native Americans? They don't even recognize. I have a few Native friends who are they have Native ancestors, and they don't celebrate Thanksgiving. They don't recognize it as a holiday because of the history behind it. So that's kind of where I started infusing this whole idea of a fall harvest, a day to give thanks to the earth for the bounty that it's provided.
A day of giving thanks.
Yeah.
And in the Jewish religion, right now we're in the middle of our 10 days of holiness that culminates on Thursday,
That's a whole lot of holy.
which is the ending of Yom Kippur. But then we go into Sukkot, which is the harvest. And we celebrate the harvest as we go into fall. And just like Thanksgiving, as we call it, but the fall harvest is what it goes into.
So do you have a Thanksgiving or you have a fall harvest?
Well, in the American side of who I am, we have Thanksgiving, but in the Judaism side, there's another holiday in a couple days, a couple weeks, that's called Sukkot, which is a celebration of
You
the
have
harvest.
a coat?
Sukkot
Sukkot.
is what it's called.
You got to be Puerto Rican. We celebrate just eating whatever we want.
But it's the harvest, right? So it's all of these things that you have a new appreciation for about giving thanks, and everyone has a whole lot to be thankful for, I hope.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. My family is not vegan by any means. Most of my family members are, they celebrate Thanksgiving with the turkey and all the full-blown Thanksgiving things, but they know what I believe and what I stand for, so I don't want to be outcasted from my family. So I up until now, I have joined them, and I always bring with me an abundance of plant-based meals that I've prepared at my home and brought with me, and they always love what I bring. I mean, they rave about it.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to have them to make that shift. Say, you always love what I bring. Why don't we do a whole Thanksgiving dinner just, with just this? I want to host Thanksgiving myself one year. It's hard because I'm in an apartment, but I really want to host a full-blown plant-based Thanksgiving one year. Maybe
That'd be
this will
cool.
the year.
I
Yeah.
did that one year with Chef Z. Remember? She did all of that.
That was delicious. When we went to the train station thing.
Yep, and she did one for us at the other studio.
Unbelievable. And I turned vegan for I think 9-10 months. I did it nonstop. And I did it because I wanted to be able to get healthier. And that's the reason I did it. And I saw something from the Titans football team in the NFL. And that Titans football team in the NFL was spectacular. The whole concept of how they did it. True knot makes no difference. But I felt pretty good. There were some issues that I had in doing it, achieving it, finding it, cooking it, understanding it, the whole nine. And there were things that I had to learn from the lesson. But there's nothing wrong with trying something new, because you won't know if you like it until you try it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not about perfection. It's not about like being perfect. It's just about trying your best to cause the least amount of harm.
Well, every year we try to do a friend's Thanksgiving here, and everyone brings something. From the first year we moved in here, so this will be our third year. I would like to do that again. Our old interns come back, and everyone brings something that they love.
That's nice. I'll come through and bring you guys maybe I'll bring my chickpea shepherd's pie.
Absolutely. Now
that would be cool.
The most fun I had was bringing a Christmas tree, and everybody who was Jewish decorated. That was hilarious. And they're walking around the tree. They did things that I didn't do in all my life with a tree. And they're walking around, 3 people were walking around dressing up the tree. And it came out spectacular.
Do it again this year.
And they have fun doing it. And that's what it was all about. So
having some fun. How do you celebrate Thanksgiving, okay?
I usually don't. Just because usually I work those days, or just I kind of similar to what you said, in the sense that I think it's a lot of the mainstream media says, oh, this is what happened, when most likely that's not what it is, you know? And so to celebrate the potential, most likely atrocities feels kind of wrong, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
So we're going to celebrate
I find that a lot of the younger generation does kind of feel like understand that, and is like wrapping their minds around that, and as we progress and we have our children, we pass that down. I feel like the new generation, like the ones who are little now, are going to grow up with more of an understanding that, you know, what is taught in the history books is not necessarily, like, they need to be rewritten. The history books need some rewriting. So that's a great thing. I mean, it takes time. All, like Veggie Vero's motto is, I always say, all change begins with knowledge. We can't have change if we don't have the knowledge. So we have to start somewhere, and we have to start with the children, you know?
There's so many great messages in what you're doing.
Thank you.
And it's just on getting the information out on every level, from kids reading a children's book to the messages that parents see and that they learn from their kids. So many great things.
True that.
So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
It's been so much fun. Always great to bring some of our hosts in. Anna's working on a new spot for us, and definitely let's highlight what you are doing in the garden in our newsletter.
Oh, wonderful.
Bring some awareness to our kids and our families that there are other ways of educating your kids, spending quality family time as we move into fall. I think that's, you can get outside here in Florida a little bit safer, not worried about so much about the heat, and have some fun and get in the dirt with your kids. Have some fun.
Get in the dirt with your
Get
kids.
in the dirt, you know, put your feet on the ground, get it back into nature, enjoy what we have.
This coming from the woman who cleans everything. When we clean, she re-cleans it.
Okay, the next time we go to the children's garden, I will not be in pumps or a Halloween costume.
Or melting.
Because that was a whole nother level of heat.
That was hilarious.
We went there, oh my gosh, it was Halloween, and I was Dorothy in red pumps walking through the garden. It was the day before we were moving here, just like melting like the Wicked Witch. It was like, oh my gosh. But yes, we'll have to go back and do some footage from there and bring awareness to the kids. You should come with us.
That sounds fun. I would love to do it. It's in Delray?
Definitely. Yeah, in Delray. Yeah, I hope you guys can make it, and I'll give you guys a tour of the garden. Try to come in maybe like a cooler month. Let's say November. Maybe.
Yeah, let's think November. Let's wait till it cools off a little bit before we go outside and get
In
some
Florida,
footage on
it'll
that.
be like March.
Go to Starbucks beforehand, grab our pumpkin spice lattes, walk around, right?
Iced
Fit the vibe.
lattes.
There we go.
They've got a great cheeky hut, a whole lot of fun, things that you just, again, seeing it through the eyes of a child. I don't have grandkids yet. You do. So I get to enjoy it through everybody else.
What does that have to do with anything?
Because you go with your grandkids. You go with kids.
You can borrow my grandkids.
Okay. You got it.
I need 4 grandchildren. If you're available, come. You're going to be Dawn's grandkids.
We're going to rent a kid. All right. Okay, thanks so much. You guys did a great job on the board today. A lot of good stuff coming out. Let us know how we can help spotlight your business. Come on over to the show. Let us amplify your impact. Tomorrow we've got party planning joining us. See what else is happening with Lady Ashley.
Lady Ashley.
Lady, wait till you see them. You're going to remember. We've met them before.
Lady Ashley. I don't know.
But I'm not going to tell you who they are till they walk in the door.
Who's Lady Ashley?
You'll see you tomorrow. Have a great afternoon, everyone. Hug your kids. Be safe. And we'll see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. drive time.
And don't be late.
Bye-bye.
Well, that's about it for today. Even though the show's over, the Brooklyn Cafe is always open for business. You're invited to join the fun every day from 12 to 2. If you missed some of the laughs from today, Dawn and Freddie S. will bring you more good cheer next time. You can follow the Brooklyn Cafe on Facebook at the Brooklyn Cafe TV to rewatch every minute of the show. We'll see you next time.